A life of alcoholism finally comes to an end, and a life worth living begins.
I am redeemed. You set me free. So I'll shake off these heavy chains and wipe away every stain. That I'm not who I used to be. I am redeemed.
It is the second day of June in the Lord's year 2014. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and this is Recovery Monday, brought to you by the good folks at Powell CDC. If you are ever in need of a voice to talk to, an ear to speak into, and someone that you want to listen to about that person in your life which is suffering from hurts, habits, and hang-ups, primarily drug or alcohol addiction, Powell CDC. There is a friendly voice at the other end. There's a counselor there ready to answer your questions. And do not think for 1 minute that funny little men in white coats will trace down where you're calling from and come to your home and haul away you or whomever. It's not the way it works. It may be in the movies or in sensationalized television, but in the real life of recovery, they are the most caring, compassionate, loving, understanding, and tolerant people you'll ever find. In fact, in the 12 steps, love and tolerance is our code. And so who do we do this show for on this Monday? Well, it may be for you. It may be to remind you that perhaps you do have one too many martinis at the end of the day, or maybe it's for your husband or your wife or your brother or sister, or maybe even your pastor. Alcoholism and drug abuse is rampant. 3 out of 10 people who sit next to you in church on Sunday suffers from alcohol or drug abuse. Almost all 7 of the other ones have some hurt, habit, or hang up, which maybe God is calling on you to come alongside these people and serve them, help them. Maybe it's a season. Maybe you just need a little more information. Maybe you just need that nugget of wisdom that only a testimony can bring to you. That's what we do on Recovery Monday. Today, you're going to hear Al's testimony. I've heard it. It's amazing. I can't wait for you to hear it. And we're going to start in just a minute. But first of all, of course, Bob Montserrat, the cat in the hat, watching the chat. If you log on to Webcast One, webcastonelive.com, you can chat. So maybe you're not an individual that wants to call. Maybe you're an individual that just wants to silently chat and say, hey, ask Al this question. Or ask Lila this question. Well, you can do that. Bob's monitoring, and he's ready. And, of course, then the former queen of Yugoslavia, who then escaped, what do you call that? Not escaped. Yeah, you escaped Yugoslavia and the tyranny of that country, came over here and now is the president and CEO of Unity Point Health Services, and the lovely Lila Stafford.
Now I'm from Yugoslavia.
You are. What do they call those people that escape a country? Refugee. You're a refugee from Yugoslavia.
Okay, let's make it from a really neat place.
Okay, pick one.
Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands. Well, but there are Virgin Islands, so you wouldn't be a refugee.
Some of them aren't.
Okay, so she's a refugee from the Virgin Islands that are the bad Virgin Islands. I could make a comment right there, but I'm not going to. Of course, we're being produced by Ryan this afternoon, and my guest is Al. Al has 5 years, 4 months, and how many days? Today's the 2nd.
So the 6th would make
5 months.
There you go.
So you're at 26 days.
There you go.
All right.
5 years and
5 years, 4 months, and 26 days.
Yes, you are a mathematician.
And if you have watched or listened to this program long enough, you know why that makes sense. Because when you first decide that you're going to surrender your life and your will to a power greater than yourselves that we like to call God, and he tells you, just hang with me today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about the weekend. Don't worry about the upcoming holiday weekend. Don't worry about the wedding. Don't worry about the bar mitzvah. Don't worry about this or that. Just today, don't use or drink. And so that's day 1. And then you do the next thing the next day, and sooner or later you have racked up hundreds, sooner or later, thousands of days. Now, you've been sober 28?
28 years, yes.
28 years. So let's take 20. Where's my calculator? Do you know how many days?
No.
Can you guess? Even
No,
close?
but it's not as many as I had hoped, because I remember when
Not
you...
as many as you had hoped.
Well, I just thought 28 years sounds better than however many days it is, because I thought it kind of, I don't know. I was
Stronger.
saddened.
10,226 if I'm including leap years.
Yeah, that just doesn't sound like very many.
10,226?
There's a lot of work that went into that 28 years.
That's true. That's true. All right. So, Al, where's home? Where's mom and dad? Where were you born and raised?
I was born in the Philippines, and then came here to the States when I was 3 months old because my dad went to graduate school at South Dakota State.
Okay.
The plan was for us to go back to the Philippines when Dad got done with graduate school, and that didn't happen. Dad had another baby. He had me. He had my mom, and he had several job offers.
He
in the
didn't have
States.
your mom.
That didn't. No.
Your mom and dad were
He
together.
had
That's right.
her to
He
take care
had
of.
you as
To
a
take
baby.
care of.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
to take care of. So he had mouths to feed.
All right.
So that being said, he had several job offers, and one of them just so happened to be in Iowa. And the people that sponsored us to come here to the States said, we're from Iowa, living in Minnesota. And they said, well, what are you looking for? And they just go to Iowa. So my dad took on a job with the Department of Transportation. Back then it was called the Highway Commission.
Right.
In Ames. And so that
He's an engineer, correct?
engineer, yes, retired.
Retired.
Retired,
Okay.
first and last job. And so I lived between Ames, Iowa, Atlantic, Iowa, then back to Ames, Iowa.
Okay. And he's retired now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you remember, was he a drinker?
No.
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 Not like you and I know drinking.
No. It's social, maybe once in a blue moon.
Okay. Your mom?
No.
No.
Just no.
Any alcoholism in any side of the family?
I had heard on my dad's side through my grandmother that there was an uncle that
Okay.
had passed from alcoholism, but I never thought about it.
You know, there's always that. What was the uncle's name? Do you remember?
Pedro.
Pedro.
I think Pedro.
Okay. Well, if you're from Philippines, it's Pedro, and if you're from America, it's Joe, Uncle Joe. We all have that Uncle Joe who drinks too much and then sits in the chair and passes gas during Thanksgiving, and we all have that Uncle Joe. Mine was Uncle Bob. God rest his soul, because I'm sure he's not with Jesus. Anyway, sorry about that.
Wow.
Well, that's Uncle Bob. You weren't raised around alcohol. It wasn't around you. When did you take your first drink?
I remember my dad would have, like had beer and he'd put salt in it, and we were kids. He'd have a sip of this. I'd try. I was like, oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. So I didn't like the taste of it. But I do remember the first time I really had a drink, and I was painting highway lines for the Department of Transportation. And each night we used to spend a night at whatever town we were at. And the group of people, they were all in college, including myself. We decided we were going to have these Sun Country wine coolers and fuzzy navels. And that was the first time I really had a...
Distilled liquor.
Yeah. That was the first time I really
And that
had
you
it.
like the taste of.
As long as it tasted good. But I didn't think... Then the world started to spin, and then I didn't like it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were in college.
I was in college.
Wow. So during high school, when kids were drinking and stuff, you just didn't partake?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, I remember when I found out that my brother had gone to a party and had a drink, my hands were up. It's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Older brother or
Younger brother.
Younger brother.
I'm like, there's no way. And I remember that at the time there was this students against drunk driving and mad mothers against drunk driving, and I was all that. It's like, there's no, how are you drinking? That's terrible.
Yeah.
I was a goody two shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a message you were getting at home as well from your parents?
Kind of, but not really being pushed. No,
Yeah.
not, because it wasn't
Wasn't an issue.
an issue.
Yeah.
It wasn't. But I just thought, gosh, I was scared for my brother.
Yeah.
Because you're in high school.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be drinking. Parties, what?
Yeah. So after that road crew and your first shot of a fuzzy navel, it all changed?
Not really. But then
Okay.
my sophomore year.
Are you at Iowa State?
Iowa State.
Okay.
My sophomore year at Iowa State, I had joined a fraternity, and it was also the time that my mom she was battling leukemia, and she passed.
Okay.
And I joined a fraternity, and they drank. I mean, I'm breaking the code, I'm breaking the cover,
No,
but they
I don't
drink.
think so.
They drink, and so I drank, and boy, I became really social around everybody. And my goodness, growing up, I felt like I was a nerd. I was a nerd growing up, but boy, I joined the fraternity, and I was cool, and I was part of something, and everybody drank, and boy, when I drank, I was Joe Cool.
Okay.
I really felt like I was, and I could dance. I knew how to dance. Boy, I really danced.
Okay.
And that's when I started. I guess that's when my career,
Drinking career.
drinking career. But
Now,
I
you
thought
also-
everybody else did it.
I remember you also shared with me once that you worked at a nightclub in Ames.
I did.
What was the name of it?
The Destination Nightclub.
Okay.
I was a bartender at a bunch of places. I was a bartender and a DJ.
All right. And so at this point, your sophomore, junior year in college. By the way, did you finish college?
I didn't at the time.
Okay.
No.
So in your sophomore, junior year of college, drinking is really more social.
Social. Everybody else did it.
Do you remember any blackouts or any wake up and not remember what was going on or anything like that? Did you ever get in trouble?
Didn't get in trouble, but I do remember that I didn't remember
Okay.
a couple times.
Did that concern you?
No. Everybody else was laughing about it.
Yeah.
What did I
Yeah.
do last night?
Yeah.
Who was I with? Did
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
yada yada yada? I mean, it was like that was the thing. You
Yeah.
thought, oh, what a night! Look at our fraternity. We got all these cans, and so-and-so's was so-and-so, and look, you wake up early enough to go to the bathroom. You look outside the window, and there's the walk of shame, and they had spent the night with us, and so forth and so on, and that just was part of it.
Yeah.
That was college. That's what I thought college was.
Yeah.
Actually.
So when was the first time that you drank and went, oh, this isn't right. This doesn't feel right. I shouldn't have done that.
Well, I think
Yeah.
you always feel that way right after the morning after, and then you start, and then you're around the kind of people that drink all the time, and then it's like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I thought, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I do remember when I started, I felt I had to have a drink all the time, every day, at least right after work, or every day. And my life was, I thought that's what my life was supposed to be. You look forward towards the weekend, you look forward towards the night to have a drink. That's what you did. I didn't know any other way. And
How long after you started drinking did you start thinking you had to have a drink every day? Like a year, 2 years?
I had gotten into car sales, and so it started in 1992. I remember 1992 to 1994 until I got back out, and I just remember, everything was surrounded. And you know what? When I would wake up in the morning and have the hangover and thirsty, and I thought this is gross. But I just did it. It was like,
Yeah.
ha, I got a terrible hangover. Yeah, don't you? Yeah, oh, okay.
Yep.
We'll do it
Badge
again.
of honor,
Oh, certainly that.
especially among guys selling cars together.
Oh, yeah, I sold so many, and I always had a thing of vodka in the freezer, and because that was a cool thing. I remember watching this one show. I think it was Night and Day. Was it Michael J. Fox? He was in some show, and I remember it was so cool. He ordered an Absolute on the rocks, vodka on the rocks. I thought, that's cool. That's my new drink. And I'd ordered one, and I remember my buddy saying, "Oh, wow, you drink that on the rocks." I wish I had. I remember my buddy that was in car sales saying, I have a dumb drink. I have a Jack and Coke. You got a cool drink."
Oh,
Oh, I was cool. He
Yeah.
thought I was cool.
Because you were drinking straight liquor right on the ice.
Yeah.
Later on in Al's life, it isn't so cool. And we're going to find out what happened and then what his life is like now. And what his life is like now is worth the price of admission. So stick around. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. I love this job, and I couldn't do it without you. Right here on The Truth, 99.3 KTIA, powered by WebcastOneLive.com.
mother who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Hey, psst. Let me let you in on a little secret. You ready? Always try to do business with people, not places. Especially if you seek honest Christian business people. And when it comes to my car, I really need to trust who's working on it. Now, my family is so blessed. A few years ago, we found a family-owned automobile repair shop that operates as a Christian business also. Open, honest, reliable, trustworthy. It's AMCO on Hickman Road in front of Kmart. And it's a family-owned Christian operating business. This family treats your car as if it was their car. Everything from oil changes to transmission repair and everything in between. So the next time you feel the need to be at peace with your choice of who you can trust with your car, give AMCO on Hickman a chance to serve you. And tell them Max sent you.
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. It's the second day of June, Jiminy, in the year 2014. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Thanks for tuning in today to Recovery Monday, brought to you by the good folks at Powell CDC. Thousands of people have gone through Powell. I mean, is it six figures? Do you know the number? I mean, I don't think we're at millions yet, are we?
No,
It's thousands.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Thousands and thousands of people have experienced a life that they never thought was possible by finally surrendering and getting the help they need to put the plug in the jug. And you can't do it on your own. If you have a daughter or a son or somebody like that and you're just mad at them because you think it ought to be easy, just quit drinking, just don't drink, just stop buying it, just stop it. Can't you stop at just one or two like I do? No, they're alcoholic. And if you want a term that's easier to understand, I'm allergic to alcohol. I break out in the stupids when I drink alcohol. When I give my dog too many cashews, he breaks out in hives. When I drink too many gin and tonics, I break out in the stupids. And I say that funny, but it's true. There are some people's metabolism can't digest, what's the word I want? Not just digest, come on, Bob, you're the guy. The alcohol doesn't metabolize. Thank you. Doesn't metabolize correctly.
She can work at the lab now.
And it's just, it's sad. Al and I were talking on the way over here. We rode together, and I said that, Satan, the accuser, whatever you want to say, created alcohol because it was the only way in some people's cases that you could block us from the sunlight of the God of your understanding, which I call Jesus. It's sad, but when you finally put the plug in the jug and you surrender and you get the help you need, then you live the life that you've been wanting to live. But that's not where you were in 1992, 93, 94, selling cars, drinking daily.
Oh, yeah.
And drinking daily as in AM, midday, PM, or just after work?
Oh, after work, a little Stolies on the rocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was that like a bottle of Stolies on the rocks?
In the freezer. Not, a couple drinks before I'd go out.
Okay.
Yeah, before we'd go out, and then I don't know how much I drank afterward. Just
A lot.
A whole bunch, and we'd close down the bars and then come home. And
See, I think that's interesting. You said you didn't know how many you had. I think that's true with most alcoholics.
I don't know. You say a couple if you don't want to give yourself away. Oh, I just had a couple.
But I think
Yeah.
that people that aren't alcoholic would know exactly how many they had. You know, I never have more than 2 or whatever. I don't know
yeah,
because
Right.
But I would always go out with the intentions of having no more than 3. But if I wasn't paying attention, who knows how many?
See, I never counted drinks.
I
Yeah.
do. I count up to 1. That's about it.
Yeah,
That's it.
See, that's because he's not an alcoholic.
Right. And we say this a lot on this program, but people are often come up to Lila or myself or Alan and say, well, how do you know if you're alcoholic? How do you know if you're alcoholic? Well, first question, if you have to ask, you probably are.
Mm-hmm.
But the second one that I like to talk about is you're sitting with a bunch of friends and you're taking a drink and they're taking a drink and it's maybe the second, maybe the third, whatever it is, and your friend across the table takes a drink and goes, oh, whoa. Okay, I got to stop. I got that feeling in my head. No more drinks for me. Somebody bring me water, coffee, whatever. When an alcoholic gets that feeling, he doesn't go stop. He goes go.
Go.
And he puts the hammer down, the pedal to the metal, and it's 9. It's 29. It's who
You know,
knows?
you were joking a little while ago about being allergic to alcohol, but with food, if you're allergic to certain foods, you crave them, and it's the same with alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, you do have an allergy,
Yeah.
and you can't stop once you start.
Well, when we first got into the program, we hear about those people who plan their drinking. Well, what a ridiculous thing to what do you mean I plan my entire day around my drink? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The weekend. Well, I got to have enough. I got to have enough bottles of gin. Mm-hmm. I got to have enough soda. I got to have enough lime. And heaven forbid you're at a 4-day or a long weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Then you really got to stock up. Mm-hmm. Or you can't wait to get home. Now, at this point in my life, a little over 4 years sober, I can't wait to get home to see my puppies. I've got 2 darling dogs, and they wait for me to come home, and they jump, and they bark, and I give them treats, and I pet them, and then they sit in my lap, and a couple hours later, my wife comes home. And I look forward to my wife coming home, too. I better clarify that if she's listening. But I can remember the days where all I wanted to do was get home so I could have a drink. Because unlike you, I didn't stop on the way home. I did that twice. Well, I did it a lot, but I got picked up twice. Mm-hmm. And a second DUI in this state, good for the state, by the way, but is pretty crappy. It's a year without a license, and for me, it's a picture on the front page of the Des Moines Register. And for those people who have never gotten stopped while driving drunk, don't think for 1 minute that means that you're not an alcoholic. That just means you didn't get caught. And you're lucky you didn't get caught. You never got a DUI, did
No.
you? Yeah. But your husband did.
My husband had quite a few.
Quite a few. Yeah.
And if you go to court, you might see me.
Yeah.
Why, you've had a DUI now?
No, I'd be
No, he would
testifying.
testify.
He'd be testifying against you. Yeah, Bob testifies.
I've had 2.
You've had 2?
Oh, but I didn't stop.
How close were they together?
Oh, but 7 months, 6 months.
Oh, wow. So you
So
lost
were you
your
still
license.
making up excuses? It must have been someone else's fault, or it wasn't any big thing, or
Oh yeah. It was.
Yeah,
it's
just
what do
denial.
you know? Right? We pulled you over, sir. No. Well, it's because you went past that red stop sign. I did, and it's no. So up until I don't know how long ago, I thought that you just pulled me over just to pull me over because
Yeah.
I'm Asian. Because
Yeah.
I look different.
Oh, is that
Because it's
it?
late at night.
Really?
Oh, sure. Because there's no stop sign there. There can't be. There's not. I've been there thousands of times.
There's no stop sign
There's no
there for
stop
me.
sign there. You know what? There's a stop sign there.
Yeah. And if there was, it didn't apply to you,
Yeah.
right?
So that was how I got my second DUI because
There's
they
no
put-
stop sign there.
There was no stop sign there. For years, there's no stop sign there. I can't believe I got pulled. You know what? You had it out for me.
Yeah.
I'm an Asian
Yeah.
guy. You know what? And you know what? The time they pulled me over, guess what? I also didn't have the license because I got taken away from the first DUI.
Ooh, so you really got smacked.
Oh, smackety dack dack, and also got to. I went to jail. And,
Yeah.
Oh,
DUI camp and
Oh,
then
a
you didn't
DUI
drive.
camp.
You didn't drive for a year. Well, you lost your license.
I
for a
lost
year.
my license. I wasn't supposed to. What had happened? Here's what happened. Here's like how I got the second DUI. This is crazy. So how I got the second DUI was I was with a gal. And we were out and about and got super duper drunk. Shocker. We'd done shots of tequila and drinking and then what happened was she was wasted. She was stumbling down, fall off. We couldn't pick her up drunk. Well, I guess I was the sober-ish one. She couldn't drive her car. But I thought I was smart enough. Someone's got to drive us home. I'll be the responsible one to drive us home. And I drove with no license because it got taken away from the first DUI. And of course, it made sense perfect sense that I should get behind the wheel after we'd done, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7, I don't know how many shots of tequila and whatever and beer and such. And sure enough, I got pulled over for the second time. But I do remember, I think it was the Urbandale, they were on 86, the Urbandale cops pulled me over, Clive pulled me over, and I didn't have to spend the night in jail that night. Not like the first time.
It was Urbandale, I bet, because Clive, you would
Yeah,
probably have
Urbandale, I didn't have to. They let me out that night. So I thought, that's cool of them.
Did they let you drive home?
No, they actually had someone, the girlfriend picked me up with somebody, I think. Or maybe she picked me up. I don't know. I don't remember. But I do remember that I didn't have to spend the night in jail, but I did have to go to jail. Because the first time I got pulled over, oh my gosh, I remember having to go to jail, and that wasn't fun.
Now, what year was this on your second DUI?
97?
97.
96, 97?
Okay, and we're
Nice.
still 10 years, 11 years from you quitting drinking.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened in the next 10 or 11 years?
Wow.
Why didn't you get it?
Oh.
Because I didn't get it either. I'm not pointing fingers.
No, I didn't get it.
When I got my second, here's the brilliance of J. Michael McCoy. Are you ready? Excuse me. When I got my second DUI, I swore I'd never drink and drive again. And I didn't. Not one. Not even a half of one. But at home, I became that isolated, in the dark, in the cold, leave me alone.
Well, you
every
just
night
hired people to
drinking.
drive you around, didn't
Right,
you?
I did. For a year, I hired a guy to drive me around.
Well,
Because unlike you, I would not drive when they had suspended my license because it was 6 years that you wouldn't have a license.
Whoa.
And I think that would have been the last straw for my family. I really do. I think they would have said, well, forget it. No, now you're so stupid and you're so allergic and you're so alcoholic that even when you knew you weren't supposed to drive and you had no license and you were going to lose it for 6 years, the alcohol was so powerful and baffling that you still drank it and drove. I think that would have been the end of the world.
But you got someone to drive for you, but you never looked at your drinking.
I never looked at my drinking. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I can remember. I remember sitting in a 12-step meeting one day, thinking, "Boy, I've never relapsed." Well, the heck, I didn't. Every time you get a DUI in this state, you're required to go for 30 days to 12-step meetings. And I remember going to meetings. You were probably in some of them, for all I knew, thinking there, "This is not for me. These people aren't like me. I'm not like this." And yet now I see those people come in and I know exactly what they're thinking. And I say to these guys, man, I hope you get it at 30 because I didn't. I didn't get it at 40. I didn't get it till I was 50 years old. Think of the years I wasted behind a bottle. All right, so you got your second DUI.
Well, I got my second DUI, so I thought, you know what? And I also got a job to be a manager of a restaurant. Pretty popular one off of 8th Street. And I thought I was smart. I said, you know what? I'm going to get an apartment block and a half away, and I'll manage the place, and I can walk.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured out life. I can drink there, and I
This
can.
on 8th Street where where the owner was an alcoholic?
Okay. Well, he drank a lot. I can't say that he would, but he certainly. Yeah, he would be. He would be considered.
Yeah.
He would be considered that for sure.
Yeah.
He would definitely have been considered that, and I heard he cleaned up his act, but. Yes. And so I became a general manager of that place, but I had to figure it out because I could walk. Didn't need my license.
Yeah.
I didn't need my license, but then
You outsmarted the system, didn't you?
I did.
Al's pretty smart.
I'm a smart guy.
Yeah.
You bet. I was really smart. I was so smart that they said I had to go finish. I had to go to jail for a little bit. Then I also had to go to treatment.
Yeah.
With, I think it was Mercy. It's off of Franklin somewhere. I don't remember what it was called.
Mercy Franklin.
Yeah. And I remember I had to go through this in outpatient treatment.
Yep.
And I had a girlfriend at the time drive me back and forth, and she thought that was cool. And I remember the night before I would have to go to the meeting, I would get blottoed.
Yeah.
You go to that meeting, hungover. I remember the nurse saying, "You look kind of yellow." It's like, because I'm Asian. But it's because I was so hungover. And yeah, I remember going every meeting I would go to that. I was hungover.
Yeah.
And
I remember outpatient Powell required, and I wasn't like anybody up there. I wasn't like anybody up there, and I stayed away. And I sat in those rooms, and when the family night came, I begged my wife not to come, and she didn't. And I think, well, wait a minute. I don't think she came the first time, but I think she had to come for me to graduate, didn't she? I was going to say, I think she had to come back. This was a long time ago.
They asked
Strongly
you to.
encouraged.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're gonna take our next break, and when we come back, what happened? I mean, Al's living a pretty groovy life here. He's single, ladies. He's got a job, good job, with a good place, block and a half from home. Doesn't need a driver's license, doesn't have the expense of an automobile, can drink when and whatever he wants. In fact, it's right there at work. What could be better than that? Well, what could be worse than that is the bottom. And Al quickly found the bottom of the jug. And the amazing thing was, when he got there, it was empty. It's Al's story as we continue live on The View from a Pew Recovery Monday on KTIA, Iowa.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershide.
I'm administrative manager
I am the senior technician
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
You know, if we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, I mean, it's your home.
It's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're gonna do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's gonna be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're gonna do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we'd fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
I mean, if you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you gonna say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're gonna be listening. They're gonna wanna know what your challenges are. Then they're gonna come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? I mean, you can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me, but is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going though. I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm gonna take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right or it's free or 100% money back.
enough said.
It's the second day of June, 2014. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and this is the Monday edition of Max World Live here on Recovery Monday, brought to you by the good folks at Powell CDC. Bob Montserrat, the cat in the hat, watching the chat. He's also a forensic scientist with the state of Iowa and one of the country's most sought-after person to give testimony at trials where alcohol is involved. And Lila Stafford is here. She is a counselor, abuse counselor. She's an abused counselor at Powell CDC, abuse counselor. Bob, when I made the comment a little bit ago about being allergic to alcohol, is there any scientific, am I on target scientifically, or is that just my way of saying it?
Well, I mean, there are allergies that people could have towards certain type of food substance.
Okay.
So there may be people that are allergic to hops or, certain adulterants or things that are added to alcohol, So that would be a physical problem that they may develop outside, hives or whatever the situation. You have a frog in your throat. You can't clear your throat after eating certain foods or drinking certain things. So that's an allergy. But you're referring to an allergy towards the substance alcohol itself.
Right.
I'm not aware of people that may be allergic to that.
Shoot.
To call it an allergy.
Thought I had a good excuse.
Well, because I wonder, what is taking the place of the alcohol in everybody's lives now? I mean, what is it? Because like a smoker, if a smoker stops smoking, then they tend to eat a lot of food and they tend to put on weight.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So what I'm saying is a lot of times you shift your habits.
I remember looking at my sponsor and saying, I want to quit drinking because I want to lose weight. I was 240 pounds, and that was about 25, 30 pounds more than I'd ever been. So what do I do after I quit drinking? I gained 40 pounds. Mm-hmm. I weighed in the other day at 282. And I would tell you that I don't need anything different, anything at all, but apparently I do.
You're switching addictions, though.
Yeah.
It's switching. And the thing is, people are addicted to like pop or Coke. You know what I'm saying? Is not cocaine.
I know.
But the drink. So, what is your addiction and why is that an addiction for you?
Yeah, I used to be really hard on people that the first thing they drank in the morning was a Diet Coke. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of a bad guy to them until I quit drinking, and I realized I had nothing. Mine was the same as theirs, just an addiction. Mine was just at 4 in the afternoon rather than at 4 in the morning or whatever.
But I haven't had pop or coffee for 20-some years, maybe 20 years.
Wow.
Oh,
Chips
wow.
because I can't stop, like pop. I can't stop. I'll have like 5 a day or something.
Wow.
And it's like I can't.
So what do you drink?
Water.
Water?
But I have hot water and pretend like it's coffee, and then I have cold water, and then I have water in a bottle, and so I pretend like it's pop.
So do you treat that like if it was alcohol and deal with it in the same manner?
Yes.
So you deal with your addiction to pop or food the same way you deal with.
Yeah.
So you
and there's
can't.
a lot of food things that I can't eat too because, like, I haven't had potato chips in 30 years.
Yeah, I remember what you told me a story once about. You were on a trip, and didn't you buy a whole bunch of chocolate or something?
Oh yeah, that's when I was in treatment in Arizona, and they told me I couldn't have chocolate because I was there for some eating disorders. So I didn't have it for a whole month, and then I bought 5 candy bars in the airport on the way home, and then by the time I got home, I was totally broken out in hives. But I'm allergic to chocolate, and I knew that, but I just wanted it.
There's an allergy right there.
That's a genuine allergy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, our guest today is Al. So give me a date or an area of time when something bad happened because you're drinking. You lost a relationship, you lost a job. When was the first time you went, this isn't cool?
Yeah, I had moved, after I got done with treatment, I ended up moving to St. Louis to run a restaurant. And the counselor at the time and told me, you know, you really you got to watch yourself in St. Louis. They're a folksy folks party town. You really got to be careful. You know, and I told them, hey, I'm sober now. I'm fixed. I wasn't fixed for a hoot. I was still drinking a bunch. Nothing changed. But I had this girl that came with me, and coincidentally, her dad was a recovering alcoholic.
Okay.
But she took me under her wing. We both moved to St. Louis, and I took on a job with the restaurant with the restaurant at the time, and then when she and I were engaged, and then long story short, I had a relationship with another gal from the work, and I got fired.
Okay.
I got fired because I got fired, and so
now you're homeless?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not homeless yet, but I took on a job with selling cars, and this girlfriend found out that I was back drinking and lost her.
Okay.
And then fast forward from that, then I'm not paying my apartment.
Okay.
And I'm not paying my electric, and I'm thinking that's just fine, and then I get kicked out.
So you're homeless.
Now I'm homeless but I was homeless about 3 times.
Wow.
So I thought, you know what? I've got a Weber grill and I've got a car. I'm okay.
Isn't that funny how we think?
I'm okay. I'll light that son of a gun up, and I still have my job, and I'm thinking okay. But meantime, I'm trying to scramble to see if I could go live with somebody.
Okay.
I finally found somebody after living in my car for about a week.
Okay.
Found somebody, and he was an addict of drinking and smoking dope and whatnot. But I stayed there for a little bit, and then got another girlfriend or whatnot, and then lost her too.
Because of the drinking.
Because of the drink. I didn't think it was because of the drinking. It was because, you know, it couldn't have been that because I would stop at the bar after I got off work and then get so blotted by 7:30, would come home and drink some more and then would pass out on her every night. It couldn't have been that. No, it couldn't have been that the reason why she left. And then as you keep, you know, there's 4 or 5 different places, same thing. I would lose my electricity, would have a sign on the door, you're getting kicked out. Finally, the last time I was living out of my car. Living out of my car, and I thought, this is fine. You know what? I can start the car up if I remember in July, it was so hot in St. Louis. It was 98 degrees at 10:30 in the evening. I remember, you know what? My car has air conditioning. I got a little bit, it's still above the line where the light isn't on.
For the empty.
So I got a lot of miles per. This thing gets 22 miles a gallon. I've got a long time. I'll just turn it on and turn it off.
Cool down.
Cool down.
And drink.
And drink until it was gone. But then I'm hungry. But I didn't have any money. I didn't have any money, and I was like, well, if I could only find $1, I could go to the McDonald's down the way and get a dollar menu. But I needed $1 and some change.
Right.
So I'm still, you know, once in a while I would find that. Or I could go to the dollar store and get the canned goods.
So what was the bottom? What was it that you finally happened that you said, I'm done, I got to quit, I got to surrender?
Well, when it finally got so bad, I was having to drink in the morning time because I had the shakes. I thought that was normal, and I would have to drink all day long in 11 o'clock in the morning because that was close enough to lunch. I was drinking in the evening, and then I moved home from St. Louis, still drinking. I had to have the drinks all the time now, but when I reached the bottom, what had happened was it was December 31st, and I was supposed to wait on my family. I was supposed to take care of my family at the work I'm at now as a waiter. And I felt like it was cramps. But I kept grabbing my heart. I kept grabbing everything. It felt like I was cramping up. It's because I had a bender. I'd been drinking so much. And I remember going into the bathroom and looking at myself. And I wasn't never proclaimed that I had a heart attack, but I felt I was dying. I was looking at myself in the mirror. It's like, I am going to die in the restaurant's bathroom because of drinking, and I couldn't take care of my family. I couldn't wait on them. And I thought was it. That was the beginning of the end.
When we come back, the end and what his life is like now, and what a difference sobriety made and makes for Al 5 years, 4 days, and 5 years, 4 months, and 26 days sober. Right here on Recovery Monday, brought to you by Powell CDC, powered by webcast1live.com on KTIA, Iowa.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Hey, what's wrong? Logan wants Let's Rock Elmo for his birthday, but since Steve lost his job, I don't think we can afford it. What did you do for money last year when you and John were struggling to make ends meet?
My secret? I went to Me and Mommy to Be. We sold all of Megan and Ryan's clothes and toys there. They give back the highest percentage on their items in the area, and it was so easy.
Megan's clothes? She's 15.
Yes, they can sign newborn through trendy teens. We're not struggling now, but I'm gonna keep saving and making money at Me and Mommy to Be.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Years and years and years and years and years of alcohol abuse. To be homeless, living in your car, almost unemployable. And then the worst that could ever happen happens to Al. Tell us what that was, Al.
So I was in the bathroom of my work, and I was about ready to pass out. I thought I was having a heart attack, and that was it. I thought I was going to die, and I said to God, God, if you can just save me this one time, I promise I'll turn my life over. Whatever that might be. But I promise I'll turn my life over. And 7 days after that, my parents encouraged me, didn't tell me, but encouraged me that they had been looking at these Alcoholic Anonymous meetings. And there's one, Al, that just so happens to be at the church that you grew up in. So you should go if you wanted the information.
Yeah.
So January 6th, of 2009, of 2009, I went to my first Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and from there it was game over.
And that's your sobriety birth date.
That's my
January
sobriety
6th.
January 6th.
Now, you went from living in a car, drinking 24/7, losing relationships, losing jobs, doing the best you could, to what? Tell me what your life is like today, because you are a miracle story.
Well, I don't even know where to start, but I will, I never thought in a million years I would ever get married, let alone have a girlfriend, or ever get married, ever have a house, ever have any of the normal things. But fast forward, and the love of my life came around. I got married. She came with my...
What's her name?
Betsy.
Betsy, okay.
She came with two beautiful daughters, which are my daughters, Taylor and Lily. And my life just turned around. I knew I had a purpose. And then fast forward some more, I had my firstborn, Emma.
Yeah, you had your own daughter.
I had my own daughter.
Didn't think you'd ever have a kid?
I didn't think that I'd ever have a kid. I didn't think that I could ever get married. And we owned a house, and we moved forward, and I had a hobby of loving to barbecue, and I own a barbecue company.
With your father-in-law?
It was with my father-in-law, and I bought him out.
Okay.
And it's tripled in business in the past 2 years. So I own a business now. I have a house. I have a family. I still work, but I have food on my plate. I got clothes on my back. I'm not waking up hungover, and I'm not hiding bottles or carrying little bottles around and hoping that the cops don't pull me over.
And your daughter, Emma, will never know her daddy drunk.
Will never know her daddy drunk.
Never. Well, neither will Betsy, right?
No, she never knew me drunk.
Yeah, she never knew you drunk. So, you ever run across any of the old playmates?
All the time.
Are they still playing?
Majority of them are.
Yeah.
Some of them have passed.
Well, and you and I share one of those guys.
Yes.
A dear friend of ours who owned his own restaurant, had a beautiful wife and 2 wonderful boys, had wonderful financing to build this restaurant of our dreams. And about 2 years later, he lost everything, lost his restaurant, lost his wife, lost his boys, and then he lost his life. Drank himself to death.
Drank himself to death.
And you were working with him at the end.
I was, and I tried.
Yeah.
I told him I'm here for you.
Yeah, me
if
too.
you need somebody to call,
yeah,
please call me.
Yeah, because I remember I'd come in and, how's he doing? Well, we haven't seen him in 2 days. Haven't seen him in 3 days. Haven't seen him in 4. Now he's not on the schedule anymore.
Right.
Just disappear.
Yep.
And I think that's the thing, and Lila, you can speak to this. You either get sober or you die for an alcoholic.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it depends, but for the most part, I mean, a bad alcoholic, the disease gets worse. It's a progressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard oftentimes that you could be sober for 2 years, 20 years. And when you go back out for more research, when you relapse, when you fall off the wagon, whatever term you want to use, you start where you left off.
Yep.
You don't start with a half a beer.
What happens for some people is if they go back out, it may work that night or it may work for a week, and then eventually it will always go back to where, if you give it a chance, it'll get back to where it was, and be worse.
What is usually the manner of death for people that drink themselves to death? What is that manner of death?
Well, I would ask you that.
No, that's what have you experienced?
Well,
is it liver failure or is
a lot
it
of times
cancer?
it's cancer is almost always existent because you've ruined so many good cells in your body. But whenever you hear, and if I'm not right on this, somebody stop me, but most of the time when you hear they died of pancreatic cancer,
that's what killed my father.
That usually is alcoholism.
And he was an alcoholic.
Yeah. Obviously, liver failure, kidney failure is one. I always told my wife, if I ever go back out and I die from drinking, would you please put that in my obituary? He died of alcoholism. He drank himself to death. I don't want people to say, well, how did he die of? Oh, it was a cancer or it was a lung thing. No, call a spade a spade. He drank himself to death.
Well, see, in my case, a lot of it is you're out driving and you crash into someone or you crash into a wall. And then we find alcohol in the system. So that's another manner of death, too.
Or you shot yourself.
Yeah, right. Or you shoot yourself. Yep.
Or something of that
sort. Yeah, most suicides, I think, have alcohol or a drug involved with that.
Yes.
Do you think that they decide to commit suicide and then get drunk, or do they get drunk and then decide to commit suicide?
Well, first of all, you have to consider why does a person continue to drink? What in their life caused them to go there? And is it a depression that you try to console yourself by drugs or alcohol?
Usually it is. I mean, I call it the God hole.
And so it's an easier way to go out. Once you're in an alcoholic, drunken state, inhibitions are lower. So if you were going to do it, it makes it easier to do it.
I just got to say, boy, if there's anybody out there that just feels like there's no way out, that there's nothing left in life, that there's nothing, and that you wish that there was a glimmer of hope, I'm here to tell you that there's hope.
More than a glimmer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there is hope.
Reach out to us, okay? You know how to find me. I'm all over the place. Facebook, my phone numbers, my emails. I answer my own emails. Lila, just call Powell, CDC. Bob, call the State of Iowa lab. You want to talk to Al, get a hold of me. I'll give you in touch with Al. There's no more excuses. You have no excuses after hearing this show and hearing the story of Al.
Well, and I just want to say it's so much fun to watch Al grow. I mean, I observed him for the last 5 years, and it's just really, really neat.
Yeah.
So for those people that don't have hope, just to see somebody that came in today that has everything going for him is really cool.
And you know what? I do need to say this. The name of the company is Hal and Al's Q and Catering.
Sure, absolutely.
Hal and Al's Q and Catering.
All right, we'll see you next time here on KTIA.